Hiya! So I was going to record a quick video on my dog walk about why as a Christian woman I support Rupert Lowe and Restore Britain. But anyway, I'm going to record this at home because it's just started raining and it's really quite cold. Yeah, beautiful but cold. So I'll record the second half at home where it's warm. So I'm back inside. And I want to talk about while most politicians have gone silent or are actively hostile towards the faith that built this nation, Restore Britain says clearly that we must return to Christian values, protect Christian heritage, reject the woke, wars on family biology and truth, put the safety and culture of the British people first. That is a biblical priority. Righteousness exalts a nation, Proverbs 14:34. There's multiple verses that I'm going to kind of list a few at the end that I've been thinking about and praying on today, but ultimately I'm a Christian first and foremost. My politics have flowed from my faith and I hope they always do. The church in Britain to me is politically kind of compromised and promotes tolerance, but then tolerance even of sin, and the left has embraced ideologies that are openly anti-Christian, such as gender ideology, extreme multiculturalism, even erosion of free speech, and two-tier justice is not justice. So while the mainstream right have been quite timid and actually compromised, don't defend the Christian foundations of this country with integrity. Restore Britain is different. It explicitly states that one of its core aims is to restore Christian values. It recognises that Britain was built on Christian faith and that our laws, morals, freedoms and culture all flow from the Bible. And that since abandoning these roots and truths we've begun to decay, and what were solid foundations built on Christ now feel shaky. So at Restore Britain we refuse to sacrifice the safety of our daughters on the altar of multiculturalism. That's why we're working with Pink Ladies. We demand action on grooming gangs, we call for mass deportations of illegal immigrants and foreign criminals. We're promising to kind of carpet bomb this cancer of wokery that's taken hold with common sense and biblical truth. They're not just cultural war issues, they're justice issues, family protection issues and truth issues. And God calls us to defend the vulnerable and govern wisely. Like a nation that imports hostile ideologies and criminal elements while silencing its own people just mocks God's design for men and women. It's just not acting wisely or righteously in my eyes, or biblically. So some Christians say, oh, stay out of politics. But when almost all the major parties and everyone I can see in politics is either indifferent or hostile to Christ, remaining silent isn't just neutrality to me, it feels like surrender. And, you know, if it's not surrendering to God, it's surrendering to someone else. So, for me, Restore Britain, under Rupert Lowe's leadership, is willing to say the things that need to be said. We're willing to fight the battles that need to be fought. And that's why, as a follower of Jesus who loves this country that once was a beacon of the gospel to the whole world, I support Restore Britain wholeheartedly. I can't not. So some key biblical thoughts that I've been mulling over, and you might want to check out in your preferred version of the Bible. I've got 4 versions on my knee. I've checked these. But for me, Proverbs 14, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. So yeah, I want us to exalt our nation through righteousness. Psalm 33:12, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. I want this nation to be blessed. Timothy 5:8, if we do not provide and protect our own relatives and by extension our national family, we are worse than an unbeliever. So yeah, Restore Britain want to do that. We want to rebuild, like in Nehemiah, the walls, like a picture of protecting our people and restoring godly order. I've got a couple more, I'm just going to have a little look. It's Romans 13. The government's God-given job is to reward good and punish evil. When it stops doing that, Christians have a duty to call it back to its purpose. Exodus 18:21. Rulers should be able men who fear God, trustworthy and hating bribes. Does that sound like our government right now? Not to me. But Rupert is the top man. Restore Britain's emphasis on the competence, truth, rejecting corrupt establishment politics fits with my Christian values, and I wanted to share that with you today. Happy to have comments and hear about your thoughts.